In January 2025, a man stood outside Milimani Law Courts with his hands not waving to his fans or shaking hands with business partners, but begging for cash. The same man who just months earlier had posted videos of himself flying private jets, racing superbikes, and literally throwing money at his problems. Welcome to the whiplash-inducing story of Khalif Kairo, a man who built a billion-shilling empire that evaporated faster than your paycheck after rent. 1 minute he was Kenya's poster boy for success, the next he was the poster boy for fraud. I'm Victor, and today we are diving into the meteoric rise and the catastrophic crash of Kenya's most controversial entrepreneur. Buckle up, this story has more twists than Kairo had excuses. Born Joseph Kairo Wambui in November 1996 in a small corner of Kawangware, Nairobi. While today's influencers were born with the silver spoons, Kairo was born with nothing but raw hustle and a mother who ran a kiosk that barely kept food on the table. By age 10, most kids are playing video games. Kairo was already managing his mother's shop. Child labor laws, more like child entrepreneur laws. But this early exposure to commerce planted seeds for his future endeavors. Well, both the legitimate and the allegedly criminal. A neighbor who dealt in flashy cars became Kairo's unofficial mentor. While other kids had posters of athletes on their walls, a young Kairo was obsessing over BMWs and Mercedes. The seed was not just planted, it was being watered daily with the fuel of aspiration. His education bounced between Huduma Primary, Waldorf Academy, and finally Kahuho Uhuru, where he completed his studies in 2014. Not exactly Harvard Business School, but then again, Harvard doesn't teach this kind of business Kairo would eventually perfect. From classroom to Carlot, Kairo was about to get an education no school could provide. And trust me, this curriculum included lessons in hustling that would make even the shadiest used car salesman take notes. Fresh out of high school with nothing but ambition and a sharp tongue, Kairo tried to break into car sales. But there was one tiny problem. Nobody takes seriously a teenager who can't even legally drink trying to sell luxury cars. Rejection after rejection hit him until Ocean Cross Valley took a chance on the 18-year-old boy as a sales executive. For 2 years, Kairo absorbed everything: customer psychology, negotiation tactics, pricing strategies. This was not just a job, it was his informal MBA in hustling. In 2017, Kairo made the kind of decision that separates entrepreneurs from employees. He quit to start his own business. He had no showroom, no cars, no company, and approximately 0 shillings in capital. What he did have was a Facebook page and audacity in industrial quantities. Creating a page called CIF Kairo, he became the middleman nobody asked for, but everyone somehow needed. Finding cars online, marking them up, and connecting buyers to sellers. He was essentially a human version of Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V, but with a profit margin. When OLX was still a thing in Kenya, Kairo leveraged it into building a following. Sales weren't just exactly pouring in, but inquiries confirmed what is suspected in an industry tracked in Stone Age. A digital showroom was revolutionary. Well, revolutionary might be generous for what was essentially a guy with a smartphone and good lighting, but still, while most of us were still using social media to stock excess and post memes, Kairo was building an empire, one Facebook post at a time. But even digital hustlers need real-world connections, and Kairo was about to meet the mentor who would launch him into the stratosphere of success before he crashed and burned spectacularly. Kairo's entrepreneurial glow-up began when he met Jesse and Purity from Urban Drive. Jesse introduced him to the lucrative world of car importation. Rebranding to Imports by Kairo, our protagonist accelerated from digital middleman to actual importer. His social media presence grew faster than government excuses after a failed project. But there's only so far one man can go alone, even a man with Kairo's seemingly limitless self-belief. In 2019, partnered with Clement Victor and Ibrahim Wangi Karanja under IBK brand. According to Kairo, this was an equal partnership where he ran operations, hiring staff, choosing the prestigious Diamond Plaza location, and most importantly, controlling the bank accounts as a sole signatory. But like most stories Kairo told, this one had alternative versions. Reports suggested that he was merely the charismatic frontman, while Clement and Ibrahim were the ones actually funding the operation. Initially, the partnership worked like a dream, but then came the inevitable clash of egos. Kairo, drunk on his glowing fame, demanded larger slice of the profit pie. His partners, understandably, told him where he could stick those demands. Eventually, they did what any reasonable business partner would do, dealing with an increasingly problematic personality. They demoted him. By 2022, the once mighty CEO was reduced to making YouTube reviews and handling customer service, while new employees treated him like yesterday's trending hashtag. The final humiliation? Being kicked out of every company he claimed to have founded. Getting fired from your own company is the kind of plot twist that either ends your story or begins your villain origin tale. For Kairo, it was definitely the latter. With the spotlight of controversy shining brightly on him, our protagonist was about to perform his greatest magic trick yet, turning social media outrage into an even bigger business empire. When life gives you lemons, most people make lemonade. When life gave Kairo a public hosting, he made a multi-million shilling empire. With social media buzzing about IBK drama, Kairo did what any self-respecting modern entrepreneur would do, leveraging the attention. With help from his mentor Jesse, he launched Kai and Kairo, a name that will soon be synonymous with both luxury and alleged fraud. But wait, there's drama. Allegations surfaced that the brand was initially a joint venture with a woman called Caroline. Screenshots floating around the Kenyan internet suggested she was forced out faster than politicians forgetting their campaign promises. Let's just say Kairo's version of events often had a flexible relationship with reality. Regardless of its controversial birth, Kai and Kairo took off like a rocket strapped on another rocket, evolved from business content to a 360-degree spectacular luxury cars, family moments, adrenaline-packed hobbies like skydiving and shooting. He was no longer portraying himself as the relatable hustler, he was now an untouchable tycoon looking down from his private jet. And if you dare criticize him, prepare for a public evisceration. Kairo went from inspirational to insufferable, mocking critics and boasting that his son's motorbike could feed the entire families for a year. Humility had left the chart and toxic arrogance had entered. But here's the genius part. He knew exactly what he was doing. In a podcast that now seems like foreshadowing, Kairo admitted that every time he trended, they sold cars. Positive or negative publicity, it didn't matter. Controversy converted to cash. His marketing strategies were as bold as his personality, like the time he asked his followers to write romantic poems praising his girlfriend, with the winner getting a car. Was it ridiculous? Yes. Did it work? Also yes. The ultimate power move, opening a branch at Diamond Plaza, the very location where IBK had kicked him out. It wasn't just a business decision, it was a statement written in the language of petty that translates across all cultures.